I would like to remember Grandmaster Zenon Franco through his many books to show you some of the games in a tribute to remember a great author that has given us so much in terms of chess wisdom and chess improvement, because if you watch these games he is able to pinpoint important position in which you need to ask yourself some questions. Grandmaster Zenon unfortunately passed away in October 2024 due to cancer. I'm really sorry for him. We exchanged emails, some messages. He was always very excited about writing on chess. He was a nice guy. Here, the book on Lasker, written by him, is in this move-by-move format where he asks you some questions throughout the game. The game I would like to show you is a game 14, H. Pillsbury against Lasker. It was played in St. Petersburg 1896, so more than 100 years ago. Pillsbury begins with d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, and now, as you can see, black already attacked the center with c5, okay? Bishop g5. Here it says that after the lines became c takes d5 and e3. Very interesting if you think about it, because e3 closes this bishop, and c takes d5 in a sense breaks the tension in the center, and sometimes you want to keep the tension up to the moment which is favorable to you. In any case, in this game, Pillsbury played bishop g5. C takes d4, queen takes d4, and knight c6. Here Lasker said that he could have avoided complication if he played bishop e7. Okay. So what does Pillsbury play? He plays queen h4, which Grandmaster Zenon writes is a dubious move. Okay. Pillsbury's idea was to castle queenside and attack. Since this met with no success, the conclusion was reached that the correct continuation was bishop takes f6. So it seems that the right continuation was to take there. So let's see. Queen takes f6. So bishop takes f6. What does it happen here? Because you see, this is under attack, but also this is under attack. So it says g takes f6, queen h4, d takes c4, rook d1, bishop d7, e3, and knight e5, a dubious move to sacrificing a pawn to speed up his development. Knight takes c5, f takes c5, and here obviously he doesn't take there, he goes to take the pawn, okay? And after this there is queen b6. But this move is refuted by bishop e2. And here it says Lasker didn't manage to bring his into safety and went down under a spectacular attack. Okay, so because this was played at Cambridge Springs in 1904, so we can see that there was a kind of improvement. Let's see Cambridge Spring, because we have a book. And here we go. You see, the author Zenon quoted this game from Cambridge Spring 1904, and I found it because I have a book. And since I'm sure you will be curious as well as me, let's give a look to that game, just out of curiosity, right? Because after all, we see the world champion going down, and it's kind of interesting. Why? Because this is played in 1904. The game that we have seen now that Pillsbury lost was from 1896, so it means that from 1896 to 1904, Pillsbury was waiting, right? He was waiting to try to win. And in fact, here he writes, a game for the ages, defined his poor physical condition, Pillsbury rouses himself to maximum effort against the champion and uncork a masterpiece of strategy and tactics. It reminds us that Pillsbury was superior to Lasker in several respects, and that the chess world is the poorer for their not having played a match after Hastings 1895, when Pillsbury was at his peak physically. Now, we must remember that the 1800, beginning 1900, these people had a lot of diseases. There were no antibiotics, so the conditions were really bad. I'm really sorry for them, because after all, what can you do? It's not your fault, right? If things go bad. In any case, let me show you one thing. After queen takes e4, queen b6, bishop e2, remember that Lasker is black. The game here continued with queen takes b2. I hope you are interested as me to see this game, because Lasker goes down, and so after we will go back in time, 1895-96, to see the game between them that Lasker won. But in this one he lost. Notice that this game has been analyzed by a lot of people. For example, at this point, Pillsbury played castle, but Kasparov, that analyzed the game, says maybe this is bishop h5 is the best. So as you can see, to study the classics is very important. Okay? Rook c8. Wow. Strange, because it seems that white is not better here, with the fact that I mean, there is this open file, this, I don't know, doesn't make much sense. Well, okay, queen d3, threatening checkmate. So if you take here, you're going to lose there. Rook c7, knight e4. Okay, things are starting to get bad for black. Bishop e7. Sorry guys, obviously here there are a lot of analysis, but I just was curious to see how this game went, because clearly Pillsbury studied and waited the right moment to unleash this. Knight d6, king f8, knight c4, queen b5, defending this. That was attack. And now f4, beautiful move. E takes f4 is a mistake. Queen d4, attacking this, threatening a checkmate. f6. Queen takes f4, beautiful, because now we can go also here. Queen c5. Knight e5. Wow, beautiful move. He cannot take because this is pin, right? So if he takes, you cannot take back because the rook will take the king. So what do you do? Bishop c8, knight g4, f5, queen h6, king f7, bishop c4. Amazing move. Look how everything is starting to get cramp, getting pinned. This is pinned, so this is not defending, the only one that is defending is that, right? Things are really becoming hot. So if it takes here, it's a mess, because he's gonna lose immediately due to knight e5, check and forking. So that's why bishop c4 is nice. So let's see what happens. Rook c6. Obviously here there are a lot of analysis, much more than what I'm showing you, but you know what, we will see it later, this game, with Cambridge Springs chess set. Here I was just curious, since Zenon mentioned the game, I wasn't aware of the game. It's nice to see what happens, right? Queen takes, rook takes f5, queen takes f5, and rook f1. Rook takes f1, king takes f1, bishop d7. Again, if you touch it, you get killed. Be careful, right? Queen h5, check, king g8. And now there is the final move of the game. I was sure that it lasted a few moves, that's why I wanted to see it. The final move is knight e5. Okay? Why it's the final move? Because if you try to play this, because if you don't play this, it's checkmate, right? Okay? So you try to escape with your king, check here and here. Okay. So up to you to try to find the end of this. And how do you find it? Let's see. And that's a good exercise, right? Let's see. Okay, yeah, the line is long, I think, to give checkmate. I don't think it's so fast. I think the author should have put it all. Let's see, for example, queen g7. Okay, now you have two chances to go here or here. If you go here, I think the game is easily over due to this, and this is a checkmate. But let's say he goes here, so it takes a little the long route to get checkmated. What do you play, right? Because as you can see, it's going back. Check. Takes. Check, probably, or check. And he could escape here. So you must be careful. Let's see, but he can go here. As you can see, the author could have put the entire line, because the computer for sure calculates it in a second. Let's see, if he plays this, check, he goes here, check. Check is still escaping, it goes here. It's a kind of long line. Well, as you can see here, the book says there is a checkmate, but I think, I don't know, I don't see it right away. I see that one must calculate it all, and it's a long checkmate then. I don't know. Again, I don't like to use the engine, because as in this case, you see, if we would have used the engine, probably it happens that in 5-6 moves there is a checkmate. But then we have not learned anything, right? Again, but okay, I will check that game eventually deeper. It was in Cambridge Springs round 6, and now we return to our game commented by Grandmaster Zenon from the book Lasker Move by Move. Okay, so we are back in the Pillsbury Lasker game played in 1896 in St. Petersburg. That, by the way, it seems it's a beautiful city, it's like Venice, so something that one should visit. In this game, it was played Queen h4. We see that in 1904, Pillsbury played this beautiful move, Bishop takes f6. And also if he wins that game, we saw that the checkmate is not so clear for someone that just take a couple of seconds to evaluate the position. So probably it's worth to analyze that game and see how to give checkmate. I will do it. I will put that position just for myself and see up to the moment, write down all the lines I can see and see if I can find the checkmate by myself, because that's how you improve in chess, not using an engine. And so please try to do it too, okay? So Queen h4 was a dubious move. Lasker played Bishop e7, and this was another dubious move. Now the problem is not the fact that these are dubious moves. The problem is that probably Pillsbury plan was wrong. And this is the strange thing that I think Lasker said it. He said it's better to have a plan but no plan at all. But if a plan is bad, you're going to lose, no? So, I don't know. So it seems that in this case it was better e3 because you were trying to open the lines. Here, as you can see, white is castling, but is castling on a file that is going to be open very soon. So I don't know how much good it is. Queen a5, e3, Bishop d7. As you can see, black is just developing everything. King b1, good move because it takes away the king from the possible attack and protect this pawn, because this knight could be removed from the defense of that pawn. Okay? Okay, and here he asks you, what do you play in this position? What is the move that you would play? Because he says that there is a very good move, but honestly it seems kind of a common move. I don't understand why he thinks it's so good. But he says, look, he played Queen a5 and Bishop d7 that are developing moves that didn't compromise the security of a black king. What does black play now, right? He could play Rook c8, he says, but it's not so good like the one played in the game. In the game, h6 was the move played. Boom. Generally, we don't consider this kind of move so good. So let's see what he says. He says, and here it's a Lasker quotation, thus either the bishop must exchange or the white queen stay where it is. Why stay where it is? Because you cannot take, since he would take the rook, right? So what does he play? C takes d5, e takes d5, and now knight d4. So he asks here why white didn't play bishop d3, okay, instead of moving again this piece. The answer that because the king would be in danger. Why? Because there would be rook c8 and then this move, no? And then once you play this, there is rook g8. And this would spell disaster, because after this, as you can see, the problem is that all the pieces are attacking the white king, and this is also under attack. So it's a kind of mess, he says. Yet, this is the move we could play, so I don't know why it didn't check this. You see, this is the reason why you need to check some lines without an engine, because the engine will tell you always the thing, but as you can see, once you move the bishop from here, is not defending this. I don't know if you are winning. I don't think you are winning. So that's great. I think that's really great that we found a refutation over the board. And eventually, yes, please check this game with a computer if you cannot find the answer by yourself. I, again, would try to think it through. Eventually, if you have this book, analyze it by yourself and see why this is a refutation, a good refutation. And as you can see, this is also the thing of today. You cannot really write a book without having everything triple checked by a computer. And then the thing is the engine. If the engine changes, maybe also the evaluation changes. Okay, let's go back to the game. So we were in this position. We were asked about bishop d3, and that's why you need to see these games, in my opinion, over the board, because you see stuff that maybe on a screen you don't see, and that's terrible. That's terrible, because to me it seems we found a perfectly fine refutation to what Zenon wrote. So this move, it's really bad for white. That he says that this move is really bad for white, but we prove with queen takes before that it is not. So we need probably to see what Zenon saw. At the moment, I think my move that I just showed you, queen takes before, is winning for white, and so I don't understand. In the game, knight d4 was played. Okay, and here black finally castled, and now this is in danger, right? At this point, if you play this, it's a problem because of this. So I don't know if this is the point, right? There could be probably bishop take h6. Let's see. Let's see. And this is another thing which could have been analyzed, because again there is this thing coming out. Tack, 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 tack. And you understand there is an attack here, eh? So I don't know if the computer is able to find a way. Or also here this is analyzed by Zenon in the book, saying that this is bad because g takes h6, queen takes h6, knight g4. Why? Because after this, okay, he says this, and then he says this is even stronger. Okay, let's see. But if you play this, you're not attacking the queen. So why would you play queen h5? No? And again, no. Maybe it's another thing. Maybe he means something else. It's a little confusing here. So he says after this, probably this is the move, because then you have to play this, knight takes c3, b takes c3, knight takes d4, rook takes d4, and now there is a check. And why is black winning? Because once you move here, for example, boom. And so obviously it seems black is winning. So let's see why. Here we go. Duck, duck, and duck, duck. So the winning, it's one piece for one pawn, okay? So that's the reason. Okay, let's go back into the position. Okay, so this was the position that we started to analyze what happens if bishop takes h6, for example. And we found instead that the only move is bishop takes f6. That is a concession to black, because now black has the bishop here. Bishop takes f6, queen h5, and here there is a diagram with evaluation of a position. Here it says black is better. White has had to exchange his dark square bishop, and soon it will be clear that his king is in more danger than black, obviously. Okay, he has a lot of pieces going there. How does black continue here? That's a good move, right? Do you need to ask yourself what would you play? Lasker played knight takes d4. A good move, saddling white with a weak pawn on d4. But for tactical reason, it's perhaps not the more precise, not the most precise. It was possible to play bishop e6 immediately to defend d5, since white cannot consider seriously knight takes e6. So let's see what happens. He says he should have played this move, and white cannot consider this because of this. He says when there would be not good defense against bishop takes c3, and then rook takes f2 or knight b4. So there are a lot of attacking moves, and these pawns are protecting themselves. So that's the reason why he says knight e6 maybe was better than knight takes d4. E takes d4 and bishop e6. Lasker idea seemed very provocative, inviting a quick f4, f5, but he had a clear idea in mind. f4, Pillsbury needs not provocation to launch an attack. He's playing f5, maybe followed by queen f3, attacking the weakness on d5 again. So let's see what happened. Rook ac8, f5, and here obviously, since this is the series move by move, he asks you what is the idea of black, no? Why he played these moves. So here there is the Kasparov opinion that says a fine, deeply calculated combination which any grandmaster could be proud even of today. It's beyond the powers of even a strong computer. Here additional forces are needed. So he says Kasparov maybe wrote this series, My Great Predecessor, but I don't know if it's from 2005 or a long time ago. So maybe in that time the computer wouldn't be able to see it. Lasker played rook takes c3. It's possible that today Stockfish 17 sees it immediately, okay? F takes c6. And let's see. And now there is another amazing move. Wow. Wow. Can you see what is black's next move? Obviously it's not f takes c6. Wow. It's rook a3. Very interesting. Why such a great move, right? Marvelous, this move unsurprisingly attracted great admiration and praise. So, Nun wrote, this is a very difficult move to see. The threat to the a2 pawn forces white to take the impudent rook, exposing his king to the check along the b file. However, the queen and bishop by themselves cannot press the attack home, and the key factor is whether black can include his remaining rook into the attack. Okay, let's see what happens, because I'm curious just to see what happens. So e takes f7, rook takes f7, b takes a3, and now queen b6. What should white try now? So this is a good exercise. Put yourself in white's shoes, because the point here is that you need to survive. In the game, bishop b5 was the amazing move that Pillsbury found, but let's see, for example, here there is an analysis that says king c2 loses quickly. After rook c7, king d2, queen takes d4, king e1, queen c3, rook d2, rook e7, bishop e2, and bishop e5. And that's the win for black. Yeah, because it's kind of everything pins. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. If I may make a criticism to the book, like always, like most of the books, they have the diagrams oriented from white side, but here the book is about Lasker, so it would have made more sense to orient the diagram from black side, because I think you want to see it from black side, right? You don't see the game from the loser side, like I'm doing. So we were here where honestly Lasker played this move, but yes, I would have never thought to play. And Lasker said that after this move probably white should have played this. Again, there are two things to think about here. One, the time control. If we don't know the time control, because these guys, I think by this point, have already consumed a lot of time. It's not a rapid game, definitely, from the level of complexity, as you can see. Two, I'm tired. I mean, come on guys, I'm just commenting the game. It's more than half an hour just commenting the game. So, if I take half an hour, how long did they take? In any case, e takes f7, no? Rook takes f7, b takes a3, and queen b6. So, this is where we were, and the right move, more or less, was bishop b5. Queen takes b5, king a1, and now there is a mistake by Lasker, at least this is considered a mistake, which is rook c7. But it's logical, rook c7, right? It's logical, because that's what you want to do. You want to try to finish this guy. How do you finish if you don't limit the way from that the king can escape, right? But here he said, after this, he said 15 moves an hour were prescribed and I had consumed nearly 2 hours. Thus I have to make these moves in a hurry. He says queen c4 was the logical continuation. and it would have made it impossible for white to guard his second rank. Okay, so we are at move 22, so he had used 2 hours. Okay, and he still has 7 moves to do. Wow, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. In nearly 2 hours. Okay, so we understand why white had to play fast. Rook d2, and here Lasker says now white can brief again. White defends against the invasion of his second rank and gain a tempo to bring the h1 rook into play. Rook c4, obviously this is the threat. Rook hd1 is a mistake. It's understandable to want to bolster the defense, but this gives black the possibility to becoming more active. Okay, seems the right move was rook e1. Let's see. And here there is also another mistake by black. It seems he had to play queen c6. Instead he played rook c3. Bishop f5, queen c4. Now I would like to go a little fast, guy, because it's already more than half an hour. I don't even know if YouTube allows me to actually upload a video that is this long. King b2, and here you are black. Try to find again the amazing move that helps black winning. The amazing move is once more rook takes a3. Here it says, and it's a quote by Kasparov, this is some kind of mysticism. The second rook is also sacrificed on the very same square. I think Pillsbury must have been unable to believe his eyes. So why? Because if he takes here, probably the move is queen c3, because you want him to block from escaping, and then you try to give him checkmate. Again, you have to see it here. You cannot escape that. You need to see the checkmate. Otherwise, you are really screwed up. Let's see, however. King takes a bishop 3. He goes back. What do you do? You cannot. No, he's gonna escape. So you need to do queen c3 once he takes. Takes queen c3. This is here, and probably a5 with queen b4 checkmate, maybe. So let's see what happens. Okay, queen e6, king h7, and rook. King takes a3. So let's see what happens, because I'm kind of curious. Yes, queen c3, king a4, oh, b5, like I thought. King takes b5, queen c4, king here, and there is this move. Boom! And the game is over. Why the game is over? Because the only move left is this one, and after this is a checkmate. He would probably checkmate also with a takes b6. Wow. Later, Lasker called this game the best of his career. Too many mistakes, you say? Please don't rush to write off this game, and just remember its unique historical importance. But take case choose Lasker. And as we know today, the chess goddess did not err. Her cruel decision marked a fork in the lives of both players. Well, yeah, definitely. That's terrible, huh? How a game can change everything. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Sorry for the long analysis. Clearly it needs much more detailed analysis. It was just to remember Grandmaster Zenon, that unfortunately passed away at 68 years old for cancer. Thank you very much for watching.